Welcome back, children. If you're wondering why I look deranged, it's because I am honoring Euphoria, which I just watched 2 seasons of in 3 days. So that's like 16 hours of television. I didn't do this makeup. This just kind of happened to me after watching 16 hours of Euphoria in 3 days. So now I look like a deranged 80s clown, I think, something like that. Like I fell off the back of a freak show tent. It's all in honor of Euphoria. So yeah, this is Eugina talking to herself about movies. I'm Eugina, and I talk to myself about movies because I have no one to talk to. But sometimes I talk about TV because sometimes I watch TV. So let's talk about TV. I did not want to watch Euphoria for a very long time. I held out. The show came out in 2019. It is currently 2023. So that's how many years I waited. Hopefully you're better at math than I am. That's how many years I waited to be bored and get an HBO Max subscription and then watch Euphoria. So I have a lot percolating after finishing that show. I don't know about the controversies. I don't know about the drama. I kind of just know what I watched. So I'll just talk about that. Well, no, I do know some of the drama. I do know some of the whispers around that show. I saw people had a problem with it because it sexualizes teenagers. But everyone who's playing the teenagers is in their 20s or early 30s. Maddie. I don't know the actress's name. I don't really know any of their names. I just know their character names, I think, for the most part. The ones who left an impression, I know their names. No, you know what? I know that one guy's name is Angus Cloud, which is somehow even more strange than his name on the show, which I thought was Fez, but then apparently it's Fezco. Some interesting names, but that's not the point. So yeah, everyone who's playing the teenagers is of the legal age to be fucked. Any which way you want to fuck them. So that's, you can't claim that it's not like Kids. There were whispers of it being comparable to something like Larry Clark's Kids. But it's not, because they were actually kids. I mean, something like Fat Girl, where a teenage, underage, almost prepubescent girl gets raped. Sorry to spoil the plot of Catherine Breillat's Fat Girl. But that actress wasn't even she was like 14. And as far as I know, everyone in Kids was also below the legal age. Am I correct? I think that's true. But Euphoria is much like many shows about teenagers. All the teenagers are in their 20s. They're all college age or older. So I don't see the problem. And yes, there's arguments to be made that you don't want to over-sexualize even the experience of being a teenager. But let me tell you something. If anyone remembers being a teenager, what were you thinking about as a teenager? Sex. Although there were many points in this show where I thought to myself, this is insane. No one was living this kind of high-key fucking drama in high school. Yes, the perceptions in high school, everything is elevated. Everything seems like the most important thing that has ever happened to you or ever will happen to you. And yes, many of our memories from high school linger much longer than memories after high school. But still, like there were school dances that was like, they were giving Studio 54, not high school dance. Like I've been to a high school dance. No one looked like that. No one danced like that. Nothing close to that was happening. Teenagers, we need to remind ourselves that teenagers are fucking lame. They're stupid and they're lame. And okay. I can't tell how much is intentional with this show and how much is just them being extra. But like, even the most precocious teenager doesn't act like an adult, Like the scene where like the S&M relationship between Cassie and Nate at the end there. Teenagers don't have S&M relationships. Not really. Not really. She was like, I'm going to let you decide what I eat and what I wear and who I talk to. And I'm like, this is some 50 Shades of Grey shit. This wasn't happening to anyone in high school. Maybe in college, not in high school. So not all of it rang true, but I don't know if it's intentional that they're like, they made a show about high school that's like a current day millennials memory of what they wished high school was like. Like this is a show for millennials who didn't have any sex in high school, who wished that they did, because they wouldn't be so broken. Or they'd be more broken, but it'd be glamorous somehow instead of boring and lame, much like our life is today. I don't know. It was, when I started the show, I was very skeptical. I wasn't expecting a lot. I was expecting some kind of stupid, just overhyped. Like a lot of shows that people get excited about are usually overhyped and they don't deliver. But this happened to be a show that delivered. So, So I started skeptical and then I became less skeptical. And then I became engrossed. And then I became a little bit obsessed. Then I became extremely obsessed. And then I became thoughtful. The ending was interesting. I don't know why they needed 2 episodes to do a play format, breaking the fourth fucking wall type thing. Again, the show's extremely melodramatic. It's so extra. The lighting is fucking insane. But that's kind of the appeal as well. What I like about the show is that no one ever really develops a human personality. They're all these tropes. Like they stick to they're all archetypes. Like Nate starts as a psychopathic white man and he ends as a psychopathic white man. There is no progression. Maddie starts as a fiery Latina ball buster and she ends as a fiery Latina ball buster. Cassie starts as like a dumb, like whoever Amanda Seyfried was in Mean Girls, but like in a porn. That's whatever Cassie is, like a dumb little simpy, can't stand up for herself kind of unhinged blonde slut, and that's how she ends the show as well. Although she does kind of, I love her little psycho moment there towards the end. No one really, there's not a lot of character development, you know? Everyone's a trope. You have your hot sluts, you have your hot sluts who take drugs, you have your psychopathic white, latently gay jocks, you have your drug pushers, you have your drug takers, and that's how they kind of stay. No one really, except for Nate's dad. Nate's dad, I feel like, they didn't let him become sort of an out and proud gay man. I really liked Nate's dad's storyline. I love Cal. I love his in excess loving pedophile ass. That's my favorite character on the show. The show made me love a groomer. That's the gay agenda, and they won. Beneath all the glitter and all the fucking neon lighting, there is an 80s unrequited gay love that transitions into wanting to fuck underage boys, man who's just trying to live his truth. And I respect that. I kept waiting for like that guy to kill somebody. Like every time he interacted with pretty much a teenage gay prostitute, I was waiting for him to kill them and throw them in the back of his truck and like, you know, roll a cement over them. He never did that. He kind of ended up being less psychopathic than his son and more human. And I respected that. My favorite probably episode in the whole show was the Cal backstory episode. I really enjoyed that whole 80s thing with him and Derek. And I felt for him. It made me feel so much fucking empathy and almost like I felt that love that he lost. I felt how his life was like turned upside down by getting his girlfriend pregnant. I just felt all of it. It was so good. The In Excess was amazing. The use of In Excess. Okay, the music supervisor on this show is God. They have God level, God tier taste in music. Because the bops, the tracks are immaculate. They're so good. Like the highlight of this show is at its best when it's HBO production value, well-lit, softcore, gay and straight porn with a really good track under it and TV hot actors fucking. I mean, that's when the show is like itself. When it goes into like all the melodrama and the drug addict, you know, dare type business, just say no. It gets a little after school specially. That's not my favorite part of the show. Although at some point, because my father is dead and he died when I was young, they got me with the rude dead dad stuff that felt authentic, and it almost got me, but that at the end it didn't really. It got me a little, but it didn't. Zendaya is a good little actress, but she didn't sell it to me all the way. I didn't fully. Something about it at the end of the day, I was like, okay, I appreciate the sentiment in trying to address this. Like, some of it was realistic, like, a lot of the emotions, like, losing your dad at a young age will scar you for the rest of your life. Like, that, you don't come back from that. Especially if you loved your dad and he was sick. That was realistic. It almost got me, but it didn't, maybe because I'm cold and, like, jaded and I've seen too much of this kind of thing. It didn't fully like, I'm not like a Zendaya stan now because I thought her dead dad storyline was so like enrapturing and true. I thought it was almost enrapturing and true, but it didn't quite go all the way there for me. at the end. And I hated, like, did Zendaya read somewhere that, like, drug addicts on fentanyl do a yawning thing? Her yawning thing was so fucking irritating. She was really overselling the whole drug thing. She does not play a realistic drug addict, in my opinion. She was doing too much. And she never sold it to me. She's always too... Like, you know that, like, I've seen that girl in, like, Bulgari selling Bulgari necklaces. I don't buy her as, like, a trashy diarrhea in her underwear, you know, going through withdrawal junkie. I just don't buy it. She can't sell it to me. They should have picked another less, you know, I don't know, less model-y actress. Less glam actress. I just don't buy it. So yeah, my favorite characters are Nate's dad, Cal, Fez, Brain Damaged King, I love you. He has a heart of gold. He's a drug dealer with a heart of gold. And then I just enjoy... I kind of like Cassie. I kind of like Maddie. Lexi's whatever. Ruse, I can take her or leave her. I sometimes Kat, like, they really abandoned Kat. Kat had some of the best moments of the show, and they really just dropped her arc. I don't know why, because some of her things, like when she imagined her boyfriend dying and like a Game of Thrones He-Man fucking her, that was incredible. The whole Tumblr fic writer thing, insecure fat girl thing, maybe because I relate to it, I was like, this is gold. This is hilarious. I love her. I want to see more of her. And they really kind of let that drop. And I don't know why did that happen? What is the deal? What is the deal with Barbie Ferreira and the show? What happened? Because she was one of the best characters for me out of the girls. Out of the Euphoria girlies, Kat was queen, and then they just let Kat drift into the ether. And then there's the question of, what's her name? Jules. Whenever the show was about Jules, I just didn't care. I don't know what it is, but Hunter Schafer is like, I don't know. I like that little art tribute that they had there for a second. Like, that Brokeback Mountain thing was funny. The Frida Kahlo thing was interesting. Some of it was good, you know, but ultimately whenever it was about Rue and Jules' eternal love, I truly didn't care. Also, is Rue, like, and is she ace? Like, she really wasn't. She was the only one. Is it just that Zendaya had, like, a stricter contract where she was like, I'm not taking anything off, you're not seeing anything, I'm not doing any sex scenes? Or was it just like a decision to make Rue asexual? Part of the ace community. The Zoomer ace community. I don't know. I don't know what that was exactly. But as someone with OCD, anxiety, depression, and a dead dad, I'm pretty fucking sexual. I don't have a lot of sex, but I think about it a lot. And she didn't seem to think about it whatsoever. So I didn't find that entirely realistic. But that's just my personal experience. So yeah, ultimately, Euphoria, whatever problems it had, ultimately I was captivated for good parts of it. It was doing some things. It certainly did some things. And yeah, I'm interested in season 3, I guess. So yeah, that's my review of Euphoria. For a TV show, out of 5 stars, I would give it, I want to say 3.5, but I'll lean into 4 because I had a pretty good time. I'm not expecting season 3 to be very good. I'm sure they tried to, like, make it less problematic because the kids are all mad about something. The kids are always mad about something. The show definitely skews towards millennial, creepy, older Gen X mindset than it does towards Zoomer mindset. Because Zoomer mindset is all about being, purity tests and shit like that. This show's messier, way messier, which makes it much more of a millennial Gen X mindset. So I'm expecting season 3 to skew into Zoomer mindset. So that's going to be fun. Anyway, that's my review of Euphoria. Thanks for watching.